Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
I'm getting my cell phone fills up every day and people telling me how sorry they are and if there's anything they can do to help me. They all want to get the Bison Turf back in its original condition.
The customers want their turf back, and so does its owner. Is there enough of the building left to salvage? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
It's been almost a week since the Bison Turf went up in flames. The city of Fargo has since deemed it to be a dangerous building. Valley News Team's Natalie Parsons takes us inside to show us what, or if anything, can be saved.
The flames are long gone, but cleaning up and repairing the Bison Turf will take some time. From the outside, the structure appears to stand in ruins.
But the fire didn't get to the main floor at all. The only damage on the main floor was the water damage from the hundreds of thousands of gallons of water.
After walking in the main entrance, the extent of damage depends on which direction you look. One area shows a pile of debris, pieces of what used to be the ceiling. In another area, many of the historic tables that carry many visitors' carved signatures are unharmed.
When I reopen, it's going to be all the same furniture, tables too, with all the 30-year-old carvings on it.
On the other side of the bar, you pass the kitchen.
That fire started in the middle of the building, where the kitchen is, and it spread up to the roof and went into roof cavities.
Despite being labeled as a dangerous building, the city says the turf could avoid the wrecking ball if owner Pete Sabo comes up with a repair plan that ensures that the turf is safe.
As soon as we get a proposal, we'll review it, send it comments back to him.
If it was up to Sabo, the main floor would be up and running by September, but that seems pretty ambitious considering the fire investigation is still ongoing. One thing is for sure, Sabo wants the turf to keep its signature 1930s look and get a roof upgrade.
I'm going to go with an upstairs patio in the front. That'll be the new roof for the whole front.
Which could lead to the best of both worlds for turf lovers, salvaging memories from the past and creating memories for the future. Natalie Parsons, Valley News Live.
Sabo adds that since the fire, he's been getting a lot of calls each day from people wanting to help get the turf up and running again.
Two truck drivers made it out alive after a major rollover crash near Sabin, Minnesota. Both were taken to the hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening. The crash slowed down traffic for about an hour. You can see about a dozen volunteers and the State Patrol cleaning up all the debris and directing traffic. A woman living right across the street says this isn't the first time an accident like this has happened at this intersection.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, there's a stop sign here. Someone blew the stop sign. We see it happen all the time. They're going 55, 60 miles an hour. So it's amazing that nobody lost their life.
Law enforcement tells us the driver of one of the trucks will be cited for running a stop sign.
Fargo police today released pictures you see behind me in hopes that someone would recognize the person of interest behind the burglary from the Roger Maris Museum at the West Acres Mall. Police say it appears the person's shirt has a patch on the left shoulder. Taken yesterday were a Roger Maris MVP plaque and Maris's S. Ray Hickok belt. The mall says this is the first time there's ever been an issue with the free exhibit. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Detective Lazan at 701-241-1429. That number is on your screen.
Tattoo ink may be toxic. According to a chemical agency in Europe, getting ink could lead to long-term skin problems.
The agency says some colors are worse than others and cheaper brands could be to blame. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson explains how to make sure you're getting good ink.
You kind of get what you pay for.
At Dead Rock Star, body piercer Chuck Kessler is showing off his tattoos.
Never had an issue with that.
This star tattoo used to be red, but after having a reaction to it, his body actually pushed the color out.
There might not be any problems the first couple months or even the first couple years, then all of a sudden it can become kind of puffed up and raised, be really itchy. And it's basically just the body pushing the ink out.
Kessler says anytime you put something foreign in your body, there's a chance you'll react to it.
Most artists would probably say that if you had to pick a color that's going to cause problems, it'd probably be red. For some reason, red tends to be the more troublesome color.
To avoid problems, Kessler says it comes down to the quality of the ink. You get what you pay for. so do your research and ask questions.
If you guys want to see our little sterilization room, just because I was showing it off, all right.
The more sterile the tattoo shop, the lower risk something's going to go wrong.
With anything involving tattoos, piercings, anything body art, you want to talk to the artist or talk to someone that knows about what you're getting into. Again, if you've got a reputable artist that you're working with, I'd ask them, say, hey, what kind of inks do you use? Why do you use these?
But if you wind up with some bad ink, like Kessler, you can get something for the pain, but he says you have to let your body react to it and wait it out. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
If you want to read the whole study, we have it on our website for you. Log on to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
On this third night of the Democratic National Convention, President Barack Obama praised Hillary Clinton as the nominee who can bring Americans together to get real results for families. The commander-in-chief was the headlining event of the night. He discussed what the nation has accomplished during his 8-year presidency and why he thinks Clinton will keep the momentum going.
A mother and a grandmother who would do anything to help our children thrive. A leader with real plans to break down barriers and blast through glass ceilings and widen the circle of opportunity to every single American. The next president of the United States, Hillary Clinton.
Obama told the crowd that Hillary's experience and strong leadership will deliver economic results for all Americans.
Opioid addiction continues to be a problem. A local theater company is performing a musical hoping to amplify the discussion here in the Red River Valley. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic talks with the actors who want their voices heard on this deadly issue.
Music moves us. The cast and crew of a local production of American Idiot are hoping their show will open people's eyes about the heroin problem in our community.
Our main thing, again, is just to try and lift that wall. So people can see it straight on, not be scared to talk about it, not feel uncomfortable to talk about it.
We can get people to talk about it, even if the dialogue isn't great, and even if it doesn't get fixed in an instant, we're getting somewhere.
I think it really unites a bunch of groups in Fargo and says, you know what, we're all in this together, like it or not.
The reality of the heroin problem hits close to some crew members as they recently lost a friend to addiction.
We may not be in the midst of it. We may not be the people who are going to the hospital each night. We may not be the people waking up at 3 a.m. with their spouses unconscious, but we are the people who are saying these people need to be seen on a bigger level.
Looking to better portray the struggles of addiction, some took things a step further.
Been reaching out to, users and past users, just to understand, what the minutia of heroin addiction is.
And they say they believe the power of music will help people speak out about the issue.
Even if we only had 5 people, and even if only one of them had their heart opened or had their mind changed just the tiniest bit, it would be worth it.
In Moorhead, Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
Performances start tomorrow night at 8 p.m. They run through August 2nd at Francis Fraser Comstock Theater on the Concordia College campus.
Nancy Otto has been on the Moorhead City Council for 17 years, and today she announced she will not seek re-election. Otto says she has appreciated the opportunity to have served citizens of Moorhead during a time of phenomenal growth. She says that she and her husband are looking forward to spending more time with family.